Biologicals are a driving force in agriculture's mission to feed a growing population while protecting environmental resources. But does the data-backed science lead to performance? Join NewLeaf Symbiotics on a journey that demonstrates whether their unique biological PPFM technology moves beyond potential and promise to proof of impact on the acre. This is the Pink Performance Tour.
Hi, Austin.
Hi, Allison. How's it going?
It's going great. How are you?
Great.
Hey, thanks for having us out today.
Yeah, absolutely. Here at J&S Ag Co, we're located about 15 minutes east of Le Roy, Minnesota.
Tell me a little bit about your operation.
Yeah, we started in 2014. We offer seed, fertilizer, and chemistry, as well as custom application.
Talk to me a little bit about how you approach new technology. Say you hear about something new, how do you give it a pressure test in the real world, and how do you share that with your customers?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of great customers that are willing to adapt and try new things. A lot of times we'll take baby steps into it and just put a trial into a field and have it prove itself in the real world, and before we go whole hog into it. But with having a great team here, hardworking people, as well as some customers that are willing to try things, we're able to be on the leading edge of that and try new technology and see what works in our area.
So it sounds like you have a trial with NewLeaf's PPFM technology, our corn biostimulant, and our EPA registered biofungicide. And tell me a little bit about the challenges, especially like any fungal pathogens that you typically experience here.
Yeah, yep, we have that on our cornfield this year. We got a 20-acre trial, and it's a split planter side by side. And some of the fungal pathogens that we've had issues with in this neck of the woods is tar spot is a big one.
Oh yeah.
Especially when it's cool, wet weather in the later in the growing season, as well as gray leaf spot and common rust. We've had some issues with that.
All right. Well, I'd love to go check out the trial. Let's go see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, how are you doing today, Allison?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be out here in one of our mini trials, and we get an opportunity with Yieldmaster Solutions, the company that I'm here with, to just get out in a lot of these plots and look at some of the new technology that NewLeaf has. And so hopefully we can take a look at our untreated and our treated and see if we can identify any early stress on the corn. Give me a little lay of the land. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, we got it's a 70-acre field, and we have a 20-acre trial in the middle of it. It's a side-by-side, so split planter. We got 12 rows treated, 12 rows untreated in this trial, so we'll have a lot of good side-by-side comparisons across the field.
It looks like we saw a little stress last night. Talk us through what we're looking at here.
Yeah, last night we had a little bit of a thunderstorm come through, and with some 30 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts, that kind of laid some of the plants over. So yeah, they're showing it this morning. They're a little loopy. So yeah.
So what have you had for rain, or what's the spring looked like for you guys? Obviously sticking to our feet here. We had plenty of rain last night, but how about since you planted?
This was planted May 13th in beautiful conditions, and then after that it got kind of cold for a while. We got about 2 inches of rain towards the end of May there. Then after that, it's into June it started warming up. We've got another 2 inches, so about 4 inches of rainfall total on this. And then of course in the past 3 days, we've gotten about another inch.
So in this field, we have a comparison of your grower standard practice, like everything you typically recommend for this region, and then the grower standard practice plus our NewLeaf PPFM technology corn biostimulant and our EPA registered biofungicide TS601. So we're really excited to see how those do together out here under real conditions, right?
Yes.
You guys ready to dig some ruts?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see them.
Early indications, what are you seeing here, Allison?
Let's look at nodal roots. This is nice root development. Nice feeders, right?
When's the earliest you would see any type of pathogens moving in here?
Typically, you really see them set in right around tassel time or right after tassel time, brown silk area.
Let's see what they look like in the treated section.
Perfect.
Here we are in the treated area. Visually, I don't really see much of a difference as far as leaf stage or plant health on top, but could you tell us a little bit more, Allison?
Yeah, so we've got our PPFM technology, our corn biostimulant, and what we would expect to see at this growth stage is possibly some enhanced rooting, enhanced fine roots, and a lot of that is due to that early uptake of nutrients and specifically plant available micronutrients. And then of course we also have our TS601 EPA registered biofungicide. If you have any early season root rots, you might see some differences here, but we just dug the grower standard practice and those look really clean. You're very lucky on your root rots, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's something where we would start to see that kicking in later in the season once your mid to late season infections start coming in. But I'm really curious to see the roots on these.
All right, Austin, let's dig in. What are we seeing here? You guys notice anything different between this and the check?
I would say potentially more fine roots, maybe longer fine roots. Overall, probably similar root biomass, and really looks like no challenges with early season root rots at all.
Visually, I see, you know, just a little bit more root structure. Few of these brace roots, just a little bit more mass to them.
Oh yeah, and maybe farther extended too, and the color. Yeah,
just a little more white. So what would you say that would be, given it just kind of is that just more healthy or?
Well, one of the plant's defenses that our technology can help turn on earlier is superization, or kind of the plant's able to change its own tissue to make the cell walls stronger and harder for a pathogen to get into. So we do sometimes see that brightness, shininess, especially with pressure washing the roots. You're like, ooh, those are kind of gleaming, right? And that's possibly the plant changing the way it's responding to its environment and kind of beefing itself up for future challenges. I'd love to wash these off and get a closer look at them. Let's dig a couple more.
Yeah.
All right, so we've washed these off to get a bit of a closer look at the roots. Got grower standard practice here. I think what really stands out to me is that rooting angle, right? These look a little bit steeper in terms of the angle of the nodal roots to the crown, but these look potentially like they're going out a little bit more.
I would agree, yep.
Say just a little bit more fine root hairs on the treated.
So with a shallower rooting angle like this, but kind of extending farther out into the soil profile, does that provide any benefit for standability, like in the windstorm that you had last night?
Yeah, it can provide a little bit more standability when they root out a little bit more, as well as some hybrids, they like to lateral root a little bit, and they make more use of those lighter rains that we get.
Okay.
You know, if we get like just a 1/4 inch of rain, doesn't quite get down into the profile, those lateral roots can grab onto some of that a little bit more. So.
And that is something we see with our biocontrol technology, is that some of the plant's defense response that is kind of turned on by the technology, it involves a lot of different defense responses, but also just changes to root architecture. So we tend to always look for that because, yeah, they're the same hybrid, but they're expressing themselves differently in the same soil, in the same field. So how do you feel about what you're seeing with these digs? Now that they're cleaned up, now that we can see, you know, not huge differences, but definitely something going on.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, out in the field, we don't really see much of a difference as far as leaf stage or anything like that. But you know, once we dug these roots, you can see there is a little bit of difference in the fine roots. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, it's not popping out at us like crazy, right? That's why I'm pretty excited to see what later in the season brings when we're scouting for those late season diseases that set in after tassel, and that's when I think we'll get to see maybe a difference in the trial. So.
We don't wish crop diseases on anyone, but certainly this would be a great comparison, right? If those do come in, and particularly the tar spot, you know, for so much of our development program, we're able to work with the pathogen, do assays, do inoculated field trials. Tar spot being so new and being so difficult to culture, it's one where you almost have to adopt a field first testing strategy. So we're really appreciative of the opportunity to get this technology up against real world disease pressure with something that's nearly impossible to work with in the lab and greenhouse. So thanks again for having us out. This was great to see this technology in the field, and we look forward to catching up with this side by side later in the season.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, guys.